is very scary, actually. As a level 7 Olaf, as in goes Dudu into the Dominus, but he's not really able to do much. As in goes Zeka now. Looking for the catch. No charm for him, though. Doesn't quite have the damage to assassinate anybody, so just going to gain priority here on this one. But Humble Life, they're still fighting. They still having to move with it. Catch the backline. It's first blood here for On Fleek. And the rest of DRX are going to get caught. That's 2 kills now for the side of Humble Life, as trying to turn it around, but Deft has 0 mana. But here is Kingen looking to run them down, as he's even going to give the kill over to Deft, who picks up 2 kills.
If the Amumu engage there is with the Renekton, with his Dominus, they have all that extra damage, it's amazing, but in the scrappy fight, they cannot win it.
Oh! Uh-oh. One more axe and an E, I think is enough. Kingslayer, nope. And ooh, looking for that. Just trying to dodge the damage out of the Silas.
I actually like the initial call from Humble Life to Green because 3 ultimates have been used from DRX, and they spot Deft on the mid wave, so they feel like they have a window here. But it's still, you're gonna be a man down. And then, yeah, you throw everything into killing the Ahri. That's successful, but as pointed out, Deft is just sitting here free and in concussive blows, getting a ton of value. And Deft with the extra attack speed he gets says, thank you very much. And there is the shield bow. Going to be way harder to dive.
Kind of agree. I think Samdi has to be there. Zeka does not have his flash, but he has Spirit Rush. On Fleek trying to get proactive on the map. As okay, and that's going to be a second and a third Spirit Rush used. On Fleek really forcing this one, and I think it's going to work because he's not able to get in range of the turret, and there's no threat on Karis or On Fleek.
Vsta into Olaf is a very miserable experience as Pioshik.
He's just going in alone. He's like, well, I'm stuck. I guess I'll just die. Yeah, very extremely aggressive positioning. Now, this isn't even with the Drake coming up or anything. Just gets roamed on, essentially, as now Beryl is going to flash away just to try to...
I don't know.
It's just like, all about that nowadays.
It's like steamboating, you know? It just kind of took a life of its own.
Nectin always trying to eat the ground.
Yeah, as Pioshik, as pointed out, had the flash available. Maybe could have extended the fight, tried to go for the 3v3, but would have done already. The key thing here, though, is that even though Pioshik doesn't have Cyclone, if we look at the other end, Samdi and Vsta don't have their ultimates available either, so we might...
So let's see how this is going to go. Samdi stacking up the sticks into that Drake already. Beryl getting aggressive into the pit as Zeka now going to hit that concussive blows, but he's alone in the pit as Deft is going to get this first kill. But the Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to 100-0 the Ahri as the backline of Humble Life has seen a lot of damage here, and that should do the trick. On Fleek is going to stay alive for now, as he will get over the wall, but Deft will have something to say about that, as he will be able to pick up that kill for himself.
I mean, Pioshik just 1v1 Samdi in that fight. He just pushed him away, cyclones him, and then takes him out. Samdi does very little damage in the fight, so even though Kingen is brought low, he's Olaf. He's happy to be low health. He's ready to do the extra damage, and there's no real follow-up here from range for Humble Life in this melee composition. As look at where Samdi is when this all breaks out. He's on the right side of this. Pioshik finds an angle here. Karis pushed away, and if Samdi can't actually follow up because Pioshik is completely zoning him out here, doesn't matter how good your Amumu engages, there's no Kalista in this fight.
Yeah, we also see the amount of health that is being taken away at the start of the fight here for Humble Life. All the health bars going low, and they don't actually find anyone. I think their target selection in that fight is kind of all over the place, right? Like, Vsta goes in, and they get someone low, but Beryl splits up the fight, so then we focus him. And as a result,
that
no
guy,
one
I didn't mean him, not the doorman. As Vsta nearly dies just by that, as the Cyclone is huge value in the back. You see Karis just trying to access that backline and actually is able to get on in there. Karis doing insane amounts of damage, and this opens up the fight for Samdi as he's hopping over the wall. Kingen, though, is resetting, and it's not going to be enough. That is a ace for Humble Life Esports.
And there you see what happens if you do get the backline access. Deft goes down almost immediately, and even though Vsta goes incredibly low at the start of that fight, he's able to get thrown in with the Fate's Call. And On Fleek actually is able to take down Deft.
Look at On Fleek's positioning here when we go into this fight. Deft hits massive value onto Vsta here with this empowered arrow. But look at On Fleek clears a ward here, and it's almost as if Deft and crew forget that he's on the flank angle. Because yes, the engage is faster here for DRX, but look at how much time Dudu buys with Gore Drinker, with his Q. He's so survivable, and Deft is just dove upon by On Fleek. The fight is won by Gore Drinker essentially here on this Renekton. Buys enough time for the flank to come through because it's a long con.
So now he's looking for it. Look at Deft. He's like, I'm just going to run mid. And actually the poke damage is pretty significant already onto the side of Hanwha and OnFleek goes in alone and just dies. So Kingen is going to take him out.
That ward is everything. They just see him, they turn on him, and Hanwha are caught because there's no way to actually bridge the gap there. Pyosik has Cyclone. You can't just run at DRX and they just kill the Vi immediately. That should be a Baron setup.
Yeah, it's certainly the setup for the Baron. You see that Hanwha are sticking around, considering fighting this one 4v5.
That's a choke point, and the Moo.
Yeah, they are going in here. That is a massive Fates call into the Curse of the Sad Mummy. And Amumu gets it! Are you serious? As that is going to be a huge bouncy castle inside of this one little hole in the wall. And that is going to be a full clear from the side of Hanwha Esports on top of the Baron.
Sure, well, you go into a choke point against this composition and like the indecisiveness that Hanwha shows here, right? Like, and Fleek is getting caught. Dudu procs his ultimate, but still doesn't go in.
This is the real kicker. 24 health, I believe it was, when the smite goes down. Yeah, 24, and then Charm hits here for Zeka, but everyone's trapped here in this choke point. Look at Dudu once again. Oh, look at the value, look at the heal. He survives long enough, and then Zeka is going into melee range here when he really doesn't need to. Could have actually just kited back. I don't think he gets any kills either way, but he just dies instantly. That's the end of that, and now, I mean, we talked about how it looked doomed for Hanwha Esports. Not anymore. 7,000 gold ahead with the big swings they had, all those shutdowns. Now they have Baron buff to pick off all these structures on the map, the standing gold that's left, and they might even grab an inhibitor with this one, despite the lack of range. They still have good siege here, and they're going to split up for the 4-1. Man, DRX, they really tossed it, didn't they?
Well, I was ready to complain about Olaf with Ocean Soul. What about Renekton with Ocean Soul and Silas?
He healed, I was watching his health bar, you were talking about this, Wolf, he healed about 8 separate times, just like all the Triumph procs and the everything, it was just kind of gross.
There's also like, you cleanse the bleed from your death stands, there's no grievous wounds on DRX either, so you just get full value for all of that.
Yeah. Buy an Oblivion Orb, Zeka.
Need something at the very least. Yoshik really wouldn't have minded him going for the Kampong Chainsword either. Name, of course, still on a deliberation.
Yeah.
I mean, Hanwha, we said the siege isn't great, but if they split as 4-1, they have hard dives, so DRX need to respect this.
Yeah, pretty much just threatening this one, and DRX, they still have the tools in their champion kits, but do they have the money? Do they have the ability even? I mean, some of the decisions in this game have not exactly been clean, as in goes Pyosik, and now Dudu is frontlining. In goes Vsta quite deep, and Dudu is going to survive throughout all of that. Fate's Call will save the Sad Mummy, and everybody on the side of Hanwha does get out.
And they're going to go over here towards this Drake with the extra wave down bottom. I think Hanwha should be able to take this for free. They also have so much setup vision if DRX were to make a Hail Mary run down to this Drake to try to take it out. They cannot. Hanwha Esports going to take 2 Ocean Drakes here now, and it's the Kingen lead here on the top side of the map, but everything else has gone south so quickly. So he will steal this blue buff away. Small victories, small victories.
Got him.
Oh, and in Karis, this game has made such a bigger impact in these scrappy fights than Zeka has been able to because the pylon is so hard and he hasn't been able to feel for everything. Notice his kill score is way lower.
I don't know if King is getting away from this one, but maybe he doesn't want to get away from this one. He is going in, fighting. There's a teleport coming in. Stopwatch is what saved Karis' life, and it's actually Zonya's, and he's going to be totally fine to use that and secure the kill.
I don't know if King would have won. He made the only right choice that you have as an Olaf, which is fight to the death. But it's not fair, because Hanwha actually had reinforcements, Karis calling in the help of Dudu, and without that Olaf, sizable window here available, even without the Baron buff of the gold lead you have now, DRX really needs to respect, and this is where you run into some of the issues. We talked about this Varus build, Deft going for a build that, sure, will have decent damage, but I don't know if you're actually getting any of it off with the amount of backline access that Hanwha has.
All right, we're just diving, and that's what this comp does so well. The Curse of the Sad Mummy onto the entire front line. This is just going to be a wash. Hanwha Esports are going to come in here and threaten DRX. to take a victory away from a playoff team in DRX here, and it's looking pretty likely they're just going to go with the bottom lane. Has supers already in position, and this should be the final push.
Yep, looks like we're going to a game 3 in this one. DRX needed a cleaner look to convince us of their start to playoffs here. Dropping a game to Hanwha in this fashion. Definitely not it here tonight.
They're going to wait. They're going to take out Kingen because they might as well, as that will be 1 kill for Zeka, but not nearly enough, as they're looking for even more. In goes Karis for 1 more, as that is going to be the Nexus going down in game 2.
너 형부터 봐.
나부터 볼게. 반대 거.
타워 해봐 일단.
타워 해봐.
일단 타워 쳐봐. 일단 타워 쳐봐 얘들아.
다 밀어. 이거 죽여도 될 듯? 얘들아 죽여도 돼. 해도 돼 얘들아. 죽여도 돼. 씨. 잘하는데? 이거 근데 아다리인데?
와 이거.
거기서 아이씨.
잠깐만.